You can see in this chart here what the underlying pigment of each level of hair color is, as well as what tone you need to neutralize or correct that underlying pigment in the hair. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Laura, I'm a hairstylist, and today we're going to talk about the color wheel and why it's important when formulating your hair color. If one of my brunette clients comes in and says that their hair feels too red, I need to know how to correct that to neutralize the red so that it is a cooler, ashier tone. So in order to do that, we look at our color wheel and we look at what is opposite from red. Green is opposite on the color wheel. So we're going to do 5N and 5 ash to the color. So that's going to neutralize out that unwanted red. Now, the amount of ash that you add to the hair color is dependent on how much red is in the hair and how much you want to take out. This is where experience comes into play at knowing how much of a percent you need to add in to get to your correct results. Trust me, there have been many times where I either added too much ash in or not enough ash in, and I had to redo the color. Typically, I'll do this in ratios, so I'll do either 25%, 50%, or 75% based on what my desired results are and what my current starting canvas is. There have been times where I've been doing a corrective color service and I'm lifting red out of the hair, trying to go blonde. As you know, red can be very difficult to remove. So often when we're lifting red from the hair turns pink because we can't quite get all of that red out. I can't tell you how many times I have been shaking as I'm applying green to pink hair, but if you follow the color wheel, it always ends up working out. Now, if you took a blonde and you put green on the hair, it would not have the same result. Typically, blondes complain of too much yellow or brassiness in their hair. Yellow is corrected with violet. So this is why blondes use purple shampoo, because the purple is neutralizing that unwanted yellow tone. So knowing how the color wheel works is really important for formulating how to get from point A to point B. This is why box color does not work out, because you can't possibly expect a color to come out exactly as it looks on the box by putting it on any hair. You have to know what your hair needs in order to get from point A to point B. There is no one size fits all hair color. I hardly ever take a color out of a tube and use just that color on the client. I'm often mixing different ratios of different shades together based on what my client wants and what their hair color looks like in order to get to the exact tone that we want. So let's talk about the color wheel and toning blonde hair. Most of the time when we're blonding the hair, we're using bleach. Now, bleach will lift the color, which exposes the underlying pigment, but it does not add a tone to the hair. You have to then go back and formulate to tone the hair to whatever desired shade you want. When you're lightening any hair, it always pulls warm. Every hair color on earth pulls warm because the underlying pigment of the hair is warm. You can see in this chart here what the underlying pigment of each level of hair color is, as well as what tone you need to neutralize or correct that underlying pigment in the hair. So if you finished lightening your hair and you still have yellow or yellow-orange in your hair, you can see that you need a violet or a blue-violet base to correct that unwanted tone. This will brighten the blonde without having to go in and lighten it more. You may have seen or heard people talk about using blue shampoo versus purple shampoo, but you have to know what you're doing before you use blue shampoo on your blonde hair. Because if you have a yellowy blonde hair, let's say a level 8 or a level 9, and you use blue shampoo, your hair is likely going to turn green because you're mixing yellow with blue, and we all know that that makes green. Now, if your hair is a little bit darker and you didn't get quite as much lift, blue will help to neutralize orange. So adding a little bit of blue into your toner can be helpful if you still have some orange in there, but if there's only yellow, blue is only going to make the hair turn green. Using purple is the safest bet, that you're not going to turn green or muddy. Blue shampoo works a lot better for brunettes than it does for blondes, as long as those brunettes do not have blonde highlights through their hair. Because again, those blonde highlights would take on the blue, and the yellow mixed with the blue would make green. So then you would have brown hair with green highlights, and that is not what we want. So if you're ever in doubt when trying to decide what colors you should mix together to get from point A to point B, take a look at the color wheel. Look at what color your starting canvas is versus what your desired goal is. Okay, so I hope this was helpful in giving you a little bit better of an understanding at how the color wheel works and why we often have to mix multiple colors together to get from point A to point B, or why a color didn't come out exactly how you wanted it to when you applied the color right out of the box onto your hair. If you have any further questions for me on the color wheel, make sure you leave them in the comments. And make sure you subscribe to make every day a good hair day. I'll see you guys on the next one.